Hey comic book fans, welcome back to Comic Book Corner 2.0, and fans, you're back with me, Mike Spider Slayer, getting ready to do that all-important comic book review. So yes, you the fans can make a decision on what comic books to buy, and today guys, we're talking about Batman and the Signal issue #1. Now this is a 3-part mini-series, in case you guys haven't known this, and this is straight from the pages of Metal. That's right. So, for a long time we were wondering what Duke's name was going to be. We always saw him in the armor and the suit, and he did things like in Zero Year and all that other stuff, but we never knew what they were, what his name was going to be. And then finally the name came out, and it was Signal. And you're like, oh. So people started making fun of him, calling Traffic Signal, which I called him that, and I just thought it was just a weird name, right? So I wasn't a huge fan of this. And then we found out that we were getting a series about him and Batman and things like that. So I was always on the fence about this character. Do I know enough about Duke to buy this book? And I thought, you know what, for a 3-issue series, and it's written by Scott Snyder, or co-written with Scott Snyder and Tony Patrick, I thought, yeah, well, maybe so. So let's talk about this book. Artwork is done by Cully Hammer. I think the artwork is good. It's fine. It's not the best or most highly detailed artwork that I like, but I thought it was adequate. I thought maybe it lacked maybe some of those finer details. I do like the colors, as they're nice and bright, as it signifies the day more than the night, and that's what's completely opposite in this book, and that's kind of the theme of this book, how we need a hero during the day and not all the ones that we have at night. That's with the Batman family. Alright, so let's talk about this in more depth now. So the first thing, the way this book opens up, is it opens up with Duke in his narration, how he feels like he doesn't fit in the Bat family. There's no more names left for the Bat family. It's just he feels out of place. And he also is one of the only Bat characters, or is the only Bat characters, that really have a power that has developed. And his power has to do with the light. He can kind of, it's almost like a, kind of like the light is manipulative, or he can, see things of what happened in the past, and it helps him in fights. It's almost like a spider sense in many ways. So I was like, oh, okay, that's quite interesting. So it opens up seeing that he's very unconfident of himself. He does this battle against this villain called the Null, and the one thing that this book I felt lacked for me was the villains in this book. I didn't find myself gravitating towards them, or I didn't really find them interesting. So when he fought, I was like, it's okay. It just seemed like, okay, let's move on to the next thing. Then we get, which I felt was introduced to Alex, who is a detective in this book. I'm not sure where she's from. I couldn't remember where she was from. I actually did some research on her, and I couldn't find anything on her. So she is a detective. She works with Commissioner Gordon. She's missing an arm. Commissioner Gordon gives her papers to find these metahumans that are manifesting these powers. They don't know how to control them, and they actually are all committing suicide. So she gets that mission from him. We get reintroduced to a whole bunch of other cast of characters in here, and I thought this was really a lot for a reader to digest, where you get characters from We Are Robins in here. We get to get introduced to Duke's older cousin, who is the Guardian, who's looking after them. And you get to see how this is like a junior detective book in many ways, because Duke is operating from a small room on how to, be a hero and things like that, until we get to the point where we finally see Batman in this book, and he introduces a secret headquarters for Duke, and he says that Duke is special, that he needs someone during the day to help him throughout the day. He's that one person that can, and it was probably the one shining moment in this book that kind of made me go, this is a nice, okay, this is a good moment, And then we wind up finding out Alex, who is doing more investigating, and she winds up going to this Arkham Juvenile Detention Center that just happens to be under construction during this book of when it's obviously published. And you wind up seeing Alex going and trying to investigate, but she can't because she doesn't have a warrant. But Duke goes in there, and he winds up coming across all his villains, and it's set up as a trap. And that's pretty much the book. So, what did I think about this book? I think in many ways it's typical Scott Snyder type of style book. Overloads you with a lot of dialogue, a lot of characters, and I feel at times that I thought it was a little bit too much. You know, I would have loved to see more just the focus on Duke himself, his character, his powers, and less about some of all the other characters and all the other moving pieces that is going on in this particular book. I probably would have enjoyed it a little bit more. It just seemed a lot going on. I thought we could have seen a little bit more of Batman in this book. That would have been nice, because it does represent Batman and the Signal, and we saw Batman literally in a page in this particular book. But of course they put Batman on it because that's what sells the titles. So overall, at the end of the day, I thought this lacked a little bit of character, you know, moments in here as well. And did I find myself caring to finish this? For 3 issues, I might see where this actually goes and how they might utilize the character going forward. But this really has to sell me in the next 2 issues to see if maybe we get an ongoing with the character or whatnot. I just felt like it was a wannabe junior detective Batman title, if that makes any sense to you. So at the end of the day, it was okay. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5 stars. Guys, in the comments below, tell me what you thought of Batman and the Signal issue number 1. Do you agree? Do you disagree? And if you know Alex, please put her in the comments below, because I wasn't sure who she was and where she came from, or if she was in another book at one time. So again, guys, as always, thank you for watching Comic Book Corner 2.0. And until the next comic book review, this is Mike Spider Slayer signing off. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys real soon. Take care. Bye.